ready? All right, let's do this. It is January 13th, is it 13th? Yeah, January 13th, 4 o'clock, 4:02 PM. Calling to order the Joshua Type B Economic Development Meeting. We have a quorum. Do we have anybody speaking today?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. All right. So the first things then, review and discuss questions related to the budget report and financial statement for December of 24. You said you didn't print that out, but you emailed it. Is that correct, Alice?
No, sir, that was referring to the staff report.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
There's really not much on here to tell you. You've had a little bit of expenditures in train of thought, special events and things like that for Christmas and some of the, and then we just had the fishing deal this weekend for kids, which was wildly successful thanks to everybody coming together. Amber, Steve, the Police Alumni Association and Chamber of Commerce. There's lots of hands in the pot, but lots of kids out there fishing in the cold. My neighbors caught several, enough they went home, cleaned them up, cooked them for dinner.
Nice.
People out there today fishing.
Yeah, well, they've been out there for a while, but
They're
there's
out there all day.
no real significant financial changes to speak of. 380 agreement payments for the Joshua Station agreement. Everything else is moving right along. You're sitting on 1.6 in fund balance. Little tad bit under.
Right.
Oh, he's not here. See this?
Anybody have any questions? Okay. We don't need to make any motions for that.
No, sir.
Okay. Discuss, consider, and possible action on the October 14th, 2024 meeting minutes.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes as posted.
Second.
We have a motion and second to accept them as presented. All in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous. Okay. Looks like lastly, discuss, consider, and possible action on the purchase of a radar speed sign.
So this is something that we're trying to do to put it on Waterford Way where the new park property is that we've got that we'll be developing probably the spring, doing stuff out there. We've got a lot of complaints on the speed on that roadway. It's a pretty wide street and kind of a straight path. And so there's some little activity concerning some people. So the council is actually taking action to reduce the speed limit to 25. We've got one of these signs on Main Street in front of the park now. It works pretty well. Just asking people, and this is something we'd like to do that goes in effect with the speed limit change. We put this out there and try to slow people down a little bit before they get to that park area. And this is really kind of in lieu of speed humps, which I really don't want to put on there because cars park on the side of the road and I don't want to bounce cars into other cars, and plus it obstructs water drainage a little bit. It's not a good place to put them on that road. This is, I think, a better option. We've got 3 bids here that Kristen got. The one that we have on Main Street is center line, and that's what we would ask to do again this time. It does a few things. It gives us some data that we can collect about with traffic counts and speeders, and we can program it ourselves. Don't have to. You can just kind of pull up to it with a laptop and make adjustments as needed. And we've had zero trouble with it. So it's solar powered, so there's no electricity required, just the pole, and we can install it. Public Works would install it if approved. This would require budget amendment to do, because it's not something that's currently budgeted and not something that we can fit in somewhere else, but I know the one on Main Street reminds me of the speed limit coming down through there, and so I think it's a good alternative to some other calming measures that.
What's the price difference in these other two?
Well, this one here, Centerline is a bit higher. The say-so quotation, you can total those up.
Are those
Well,
different options or what?
yeah, they're different options, different sizes. The 4370 is what theirs would be, but there's some other things you have to buy with those that they don't show here to program them and things like that. And then the other one is 5810. We don't know anything about the road safe model. We've not used it, and there's not one around here that we can go and look at.
Probably better to stick with something we know something about.
Yeah, I mean, this one works. It's heavy duty stuff, and it's been out there a couple of years now. We haven't had any trouble with it.
So you're coming to us because there's gonna be a future park there?
Yeah, this will go right before you get to the park. It'll actually catch the traffic coming from Stadium Drive heading towards 917, and it'll be placed a block before you get to the park. And then we'll also fix, once we get that park opened up, we'll put a sign on it that shows that there's a park out there.
Going down to 25?
It's on a residential street, so.
Yeah, it's a residential street
Oh,
with
okay.
traffic on both sides, or there's houses on both sides of it until you get to the park proper.
Okay.
I mean, I think that Centerline one's probably the way to go. Again, I think it's what we know, right?
Yeah, it's a little more expensive, but
We haven't had any problems out of that one in years.
no, that's the most widely one used that people all over use it. There's Centerline. We buy a lot of stuff from them and have always had good luck with it.
I'll make a motion, we approve. Centerland.
For a second,
Second.
all in favor? Purchasing the Centerline for 75, 55, and 38 cents. Unanimous.
Okay, and I think you sent the report.
And my report has been emailed, it's on the first.
I'll get, Steve had a doctor's appointment today,
No.
and at the VA, so he may be there till his next birthday, you never know. But I believe, do you have any information on the playground stuff?
Yes, Steven spoke with the playground company this morning. The the truck is leaving, early this week to be driven down here, so it should be here by Friday. It's coming, I believe he said from Georgia. So,
They said it'd be just a couple weeks, right? Once stuff comes in or.
Well, that's what they said, but our contract gives them 60 days.
I'll say next week's not gonna be a good week, according to what the weatherman said.
yeah, but
With
I mean, once we get it here, that means the footing is gonna be the thing that's really dependent upon the weather, but that'll be the last thing they do once they install the actual structure.
We'll get them a burn barrel out there so they can stay warm.
I like it.
We got a couple of heaters, we'll put them out there for
They
them,
have to get them a permit.
so they don't build a fire.
Stephen did mention the possibility of maybe needing to call a special called meeting to make a decision on the shade structures. Because if we end up using the company that's installing the playground equipment, we'd save on mobilization fees, but he's waiting for a quote from them.
Something to compare to.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I think he's got 2 quotes, but he's waiting on a quote from them, so. I told him,
This
What do we
is
want?
over the splash pads and so forth.
Yeah, the replacement.
Okay. Any future agenda items anybody would like for next month? Okay. On that note, it was a short meeting today, 4:11 PM, meeting's adjourned.
Perfect. Everybody have a good Christmas.